Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for a weekly angel reading for April 10th through the 16th, 2017. So let's just take a moment to take a deep breath and to just center ourselves in the energy of our heart space, allowing for that profound divine connection that allows you to be receptive to hearing the messages that the angels are offering you, your angels, and God, as also the rewards and the gifts that God is sharing with you, and some of the potential exchanges that are happening, bringing to you these gifts. So just really breathe and pay attention to any confirmations that you may receive throughout the reading, or thoughts of your own that you may get that are invoked or inspired through the reading. And what I'm seeing is a scroll, and there it seems like a document, and it's being exchanged in between hands. So I'm literally looking at some sort of a partnership or some kind of deal being brokered, if is what I'm kind of hearing. Some kind of negotiations, and they're using that same scroll, that document, as a telescope, between between the parties that are involved, and this seems to involve a lot of people who are standing around in support. It's almost so like there's some kind of that you're going to learn something through this in negotiation. It's like that telescope, like you're going to be able to see something that you weren't able to see. This situation is bringing you closer to, where you were at a distance, and maybe it feels like, you don't have all the facts, and you don't really understand everything until you're a little bit closer. And it's sort of like you needed a telescope or something to help you to see across the distance. So it's like seeing across the table. Some things are going to be revealed across the table of this negotiation that you weren't able to see. Something's going to reveal itself to you. So they really want you to pay attention, to be open to what you are receiving. So I get a feeling, I'm hearing that some things are going to be cleared up, okay? But the thing that I feel mostly about it is it's not something that you should be worried about or afraid of. They're giving me a sense, too, that some of you may get some things in the mail, or maybe some of it feels like getting documentation or some kind of certificate for something. So if it's, some of you are worried about some studies or training that you've been doing, hearing this, if you've been thinking about doing some training or some education, then do that. Also, if you're finishing up and you've been taking exams or something, they've just wrote out a teaching. So for some of you who may have some teaching credentials to work on, or some tests that you're preparing for, the sense is it's going to work out really well, that you're going to get your license, so don't worry about that. Is sort of what I'm getting out of this. The writing lab, it feels like maybe someone doing some research, or it feels like someone who works in a lab. Possibly you getting, if you presented a proposal or something like this where you're looking for funding, either if you haven't, you've had the idea, go for it. If don't be so critical. Don't doubt yourself. You're putting blocks in the way that aren't going to be there. So go for it, or that if you've already done this, it's going to go well. You should hear something positive about that. Is the sense I'm getting. Um, there's a there's the scroll they're playing with this document. So it feels like, this is a good time for many of you to put yourself out there, even though they wrote sorry, even though you may get like a letter, saying, we're sorry, but we've considered another applicant. They want you to keep trying. They want you to keep using it as a telescope. They want you to keep looking. And because they're using a telescope instead of writing the word look or Google, which they use for research or look something up, I feel like that you may need to look at a greater distance. Maybe you're looking too close to home or in your area, or maybe within your department. Like it could be that you need to look in another department, the distance thing, or it may mean looking in other locations in your area, or other locations outside of the area where you live. So don't localize your search as much. Okay, expand your search in whatever way that means to you, that you kind of get it clicks with you, and get a sense that this is the time they're showing me the cross now, and what I'm getting is that if something is really, just been a lot of struggle for you, and you keep thinking to yourself, you keep saying, I'm going to do it, I'm going to get myself out of this, I'm going to look for another job, I'm going to move, I'm going to go back and get more education, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Don't say, just go do it. Okay, don't be afraid to do this. This is coming, they're showing me the third eye, so this is coming from your higher self. And don't worry about your fears around it. Just trust your higher self, okay? They're writing out the word gold. So this is a golden opportunity for you, that they're keep giving you this message. And the reason you're so agitated and frustrated in the situation is not for you to keep fighting with that agitation and frustration, but to use that emotional guidance to give you the strength and the clarity to get out. Like, you got this feeling like, I've had enough. Have enough. You've had enough. You have. So move on. Things are going to work for you. Things are going to fall into place. And that's why you're so frustrated. Because this is about your inner being is standing where you are fulfilled and is eager for you to participate in that alignment. And so that's what frustration is when you're resistant participating in that eagerness. See, at the opposite end of frustration for you is your higher self being eager for you to participate in the alignment that is already there for you. And all you got to do is use the contrast of your experience to motivate you to do it. So that's why it's all happening to you. That's why it's all seemingly getting to be more and more unbearable, because it's like it's squeezing you out, because that's what the energies try to do, squeeze you out of there, trying to get you to squeeze yourself out of there. I mean, if a hole was tightening around you and squeezing you really tightly, you would be doing everything you could to get out of there. So why are you not getting out of there? And because it keeps showing me the document, so it could be a document, certificate, score. If the education is going to do that for you, get out of there. Go do that so you can get out of there. Okay? I don't know why they keep writing laboratory, but so whoever this means anything to, I'm not quite sure right now what's coming to me about it. But you need to go ahead and pursue these ideas. The situations that you're in, they're showing me the tree and it's so thin, but also this is a baby tree. So this is a new tree. So what I'm getting about this is going to be a new opportunity. This moving on. So this is not my normal idea of without the tree, but this is a new tree. This is going to be a new career opportunity, and the thing about it is because everything, the tree, the branches, everything is new. It means there's so much room for you to grow, and you're feeling that. You're feeling that you are that you have more. There's more inside of you. There's more room for you to grow, even though you may have kind of you feel kind of stuck and rooted. You feel like a very old ancient tree. You feel like there's nothing else that could happen but to just keep changing with the seasons, But here, this is something like a new beginning where you have a long stretch ahead of you of opportunities for you to explore your own inner abilities, your gifts and creativity, to see them go in new and different directions. So go for this, because the other thing makes you feel like you've not much left inside of you, much else for you to do. It's creating a sense of hopelessness. So they want you to pursue these ideas that you're getting. They're divinely inspired, and they're there to help you to stand in your power. And they're trying to get across to you. They're showing me this movie screen. They're trying to get you to focus on the big picture. They want you to nurture the grander idea here of whatever this document, whether it's a negotiation or getting a training or something. They want you to nurture this. They want you to focus on the big picture here, the main goal, and to nurture this. All right, and that's what's going to take you in a completely new direction. They're also showing me that scroll looking like a stick of dynamite, and what I'm getting a sense of it is you want to go ahead and move now. Don't let things become explosive. Okay, trust guidance to go and take the actions now. If you keep hanging on to your fears and keep being afraid to move, then you're going to be kind of moved, and it's going to like really jolt you and make you feel like you're all over the place. So don't put yourself in that position. That's what we do. We let fear cripple us, and we let it become our own worst enemy. As I was speaking about before, your ego is not evil. It's just afraid. So I'm never preaching anything about evil. And I think that this is not denial. This is understanding the truth of the universe. Your ego is just afraid of anything that's more, because it doesn't understand anything beyond its borders. And I tell clients that the ego is like a speck within it's the size of a speck inside of your pore, because it really is the nothingness. God did not create it, and therefore it is not real, but it calls itself protecting you. And that's kind of noble in a way, but you can't allow it to control you. You can't allow it to convince you, especially of something that's not going to be real unless you believe it. It needs you, because you are the power source. You are the creator source that has been given free will. And so whatever you focus upon, that becomes eventually a reality. And they're writing out the word legacy. You don't want your legacy to be based on your fears. Let your legacy be based on your dreams, your hopes, your desires, not your fears. And I feel like that's what we're all tired of. You're tired of letting your legacy be about your fears and just giving your power away. A lot of they're showing me someone with a handkerchief, and she's been crying a lot or doing, a lot of us have just been, our fears have become our legacy. Our pain, our suffering has become our legacy. And we put it in those terms because, you keep feeding it, and it keeps becoming more and more concrete because of the attention you give to it. Remember, you are a creative force. You're like a light. And that lamp, wherever you shine it, makes everything grow. It's like the sun. So don't shine your lamp, don't shine your light where you don't want things to grow. When there's something that you don't like, then the thing is that's there to help you to understand what you do like. You're not ignoring it. We're not trying to be namby-pamby, but we're being real in terms of spirituality, spirit, soul. Use that contrast it's showing you what you don't want so that you know what it is you do want. It's like hot and cold. If there was only one, you wouldn't know what the other was. And so by them being both there, you get to choose. Free will. So don't throw it away. Okay? They're indicating, they're writing out the word peace, and my sense is they're doing this in a couple of ways. It's like I'm seeing a cross, and then I'm seeing it like they're opening it up like the part that goes across is vertical, opens up like a scroll so you can read something on it, and it's peace, pure. They're giving me a sense that when you let go of that cross, that struggle, and you open up the scroll of information, because inside of you, no matter what you're struggling with, at the core is a message from God. And that message is always peace. And you know what it is. Just follow it. Just don't be afraid to follow it. Don't let fear be your legacy. Okay? Open up the page of that guidance and listen to it. They're writing that out like page, and as a page as in the tarot. Listen to the messenger of your soul within. You are a messenger as well in this world. You are a page. You're a steward of divine messages. And they wrote something about a book before, and I just remembered it. So, whatever it is, and I know that a lot of people have been really inspired to write, because this is how the shifts happen in our world. One of the ways where people get to sit in the solitude of their own habitats and just, absorb without input. Sometimes when there's a discussion, people argue against you, and when you're reading a book, it's just there. You can put it down if you don't like it. You can continue reading without having other people chiming in. It's private, not secret, but private. So there's a difference there, and you're really need to focus on your dreams. They're private to you. You share them with people who are there to help you, and there will be people who will come and be of support to you, but don't let anybody drag you anywhere. Okay, some of you let people influence you like they drag you, and that's because that's fear. Don't let that be your legacy. Okay, let's take a look at the card for the theme of the week from the Archangel Oracle deck. Okay, haven't had this card in a long time. This is Archangel Zadkiel. His name means the righteousness of God. And Archangel Zadkiel can help you actually with students with studying or your memory. So any kind of work that involves the mind, Archangel Zadkiel is very helpful in this way. It's headaches, things like this. So this is about compassion. Okay, and what I'm kind of getting about this is that he wants you to be compassionate. Like when your mind gets overstimulated and too active and starts to really put you in your place. Okay, so it's kind of pushing you. Or there was a word they're writing out too. He's saying pause. This is the word he just wrote out. He wants you to just kind of pause for a moment, and he wants you to understand that the voice of compassion and fear are two different things, and that you would never, God or the angels would never, or your higher self would never criticize you, would never waste time doing that either. So when you hear the criticism, pause that button. It's not like you're trying to ignore it, but you want to focus. It's time for you to find alignment, and so you have to focus on how do you want to feel in that moment. What is it that you're trying to achieve? What is your dream? What is the big picture? What is the goal behind the service that you're doing. You know, if you're writing a book and then all of a sudden your ego chimes in and tries to convince you not to do that because it's afraid of, you know, mistakes and errors. But then go back and focus on what is your intention for writing this book. And then the one you were inspired with. And then immediately you'll feel that peace within. And you just have to trust yourself that what comes through that compassion, that love, is meant to be. And just put it down without criticizing. This is with anything. Just go for it without, just leave those voices to the side. Nobody's saying to ignore them, but just push them to the side. Let them talk over there in this, and let it just them talk on the sidelines, and you just let yourself focus on this main goal or intention, and they'll be over there talking. You know, you're not going to kill them, but you can focus and see what happens when you trust your inner being. Just see what happens. See what is it that you have to gain here. Don't think about the losses, but look for the gains, and you'll start, the opportunities will start to show up in front of you. Okay, so the message on the card says, soften your heart with respect to the situation and all the people involved, including yourself. So he's making me feel like whatever these negotiations that they were showing us, Eric, I feel like first of all, he's showing me a mushroom, which is a symbol of abundance. And the mushroom kind of almost looked like a clover. 4 leaves folded down to look like a mushroom. So that's even better. So this is going to be something that's really going to be a good thing for you. So somehow you're not seeing things correctly. You've been too far away from it, or you've gotten away from your focusing on your goals, and you're too involved in your fears, maybe some suspicions or making assumptions. And what you need to do is that you need to put that chatter to rest and just open up your heart. Purge yourself. They're writing the word purge. Purge yourself of all of those things. I don't know why they wrote revenge. I don't know why. I don't feel like any of you would have that kind of energy. But even on some small level, you know, don't think about getting back at something. I feel like maybe you would hurt yourself in order to hurt somebody else. You know, like, and I don't mean like physically, but in some other way, you would hold back on yourself in order to hurt someone else, or you would take something from them in order to hurt them, or something like this. So if there's something like, let's say, in a proceeding of a divorce, don't withhold something that you know that that's really means a lot to them. Don't go that far, okay? That's what I think they're trying to get at. Don't go that far, all right, to make someone else pay, or even under the guise of thinking that you're getting justice for yourself, okay? So I'll just put that out there and leave it like that. All right, let's take a look at the card for the beginning of the week. And, okay, so we have the 4 of Ariel. And this is interesting for many reasons, because this is usually the 4 Pentacles. And it's interesting because what we just talked about holding back. So I'm getting a feeling, don't hold back. All right, first of all, for yourself, if there's something you're feeling guided to do, don't hold back. All right, then don't withhold from others things that you have the ability to give. So don't withhold generosity. And they just wrote, don't put conditions. That's another way of holding back. Okay, because we have free will. The love that God gives to us is unconditional. So when you start working with conditions, you are actually working outside of the alignment of your soul's truth, its natural function, and things eventually can't go well when you do that. So don't hold back is the message that I'm getting. When you know how to be generous, don't hold back. All right. They're also saying that sometimes the only time that you would hold back, and this is really because you shouldn't be there, you would hold back when you see that people are not open. When people are not ready, you have to listen to their energy. Don't get in your head and start manipulating what needs to happen. I'm not saying you would do that in a vicious or in a direct way. This is something that sometimes we just do and we don't even realize we're doing it. So I always tell people, especially for healers, we want to help everybody, but you can't help everybody until they're ready to be helped. And part of being a healer is understanding that they have free will, or spiritual teacher, and to pay attention to that. So you can always get the information from their higher self, and you always connect with that truth. You connect it to it. And so you can tell if they're open right now or not. So that would be the only time to hold back. That would not be a negative to do so. All right? Let's just give you one good example of that. All right, so it says, when you give, you also receive, being resistant to change, extremes in how you save or spend money. Okay, so again, if you feel the energy flowing right now for an opportunity, for something for you to pursue, trust that. Okay? Trust that and go with it. Don't be resistant to change. All right, let's take a look at the card for the middle of the week. Okay, look at this. We have the Six of Ariel, and speaking of being generous. So this is in the middle of the week. I feel like this is one long message though, but it says material needs get fulfilled in magical and unexpected ways. Acts of kindness, giving and receiving with a grateful heart. So this week is really about being generous, opening up your heart, letting your compassion just flow and flourish. Instead of paying attention to what's going on the surface, pay attention to what's going on from the truth of the situation, because the light of truth is, there's a grid of energy for every situation, and the light of truth is always at the core of it, is the foundation and the pillars. Likewise, within each person, the same thing. And so always go to the core, go to the truth within, to the foundation of truth within any situation or person, and from there discern whether or not you are giving, if someone is ready to receive what you are able to give. And if they are ready, give. If they are not, then don't. Okay, because then you're honoring their free will. Otherwise, so this is so that we don't be generous without, so the idea is that, like, some people will say, well, I just can't give to everybody, or I don't have it to give, or you may say, well, if I give to everybody, like we've all been taught in our churches maybe, that we should just give to everyone, and you really can't do that. You can't help everyone. And this is how we know how to do this in a balanced way, in a harmonious way, is by discerning. You can feel the energy. You can feel they're ready to talk. You can feel when somebody's not ready to talk. You have to wait and come back to them another time, or let them come to you. This is the kind of giving that is balanced always. All right? So be aware of that. Be aware of that. Tune into their I am presence. Talk to their angels to know what the truth is in this situation. That's why we should really, really tune into our inner being always, to know what our actions should be. And our actions should be inspired. And then you don't have to guess whether or not this is what you should be doing. Nobody's asking you to give until you give and you're suffering at the same time. If you're suffering, then that means that what you're giving is not in balance with the truth that is within the situation of that person. you're doing it based on what you're seeing, and you're not looking deeply enough. That could be another reason for the symbolism of that telescope, to look to within the soul, speak to the soul, speak to the heart. They're showing me like a megaphone. But also, don't be afraid to speak up, but speak from the heart, the voice of compassion. All right, let's take a look at the card for the end of the week. Okay, and we have the Five of Raphael, and this is usually the Five of Cups. So this card is all about, emotional, having an emotional blow. All right, and so don't be discouraged if if you make a mistake. Okay, don't be discouraged if you don't discern something. I get a sense that this is about people getting really disappointed about their guidance, and feeling like that they misread a situation. And the thing is that you are never truly in the wrong. It's sort of like you think you misread something, but you were probably shown what you needed to be shown so that you could do what you needed to do, because there's something else there. And that's what this card is always about. You weren't wrong, but when you start letting your ego chime in with extra chatter, and the ego will try to get to the details. It's seeking out the details. What is it? What am I supposed to be doing here? Why am I here? What? Maybe it's this. That example I gave you last week about going into the town, and the guidance just told you to go over there, and then your ego chimes in and says, look for maybe there's money underneath the trash can or something. That idea, and so you didn't misread the situation. You just started to focus on details instead of focusing on your passion, focusing on the bigger picture, focusing on your intention, and being open to the variety of opportunities that were probably present. You just didn't see them. And that's what this card, where these presents were open and is not what she wanted. She was expecting something else. See, don't let expectation get in your way. And over there are still some gifts that she hasn't opened yet, but she wasn't looking for them because she was looking at the most obvious, and she started to allow her mind, to the ego, to kind of direct her expectations. So release your expectations about a situation this week. Be open. And getting about this whole negotiation or whatever it is, or partnership, don't go with an open mind. Okay, you have these ideas. You're human. Okay, we can't help that. But put them aside for a moment and say to yourself, what could this look like? Or what would it look like or how would this look if it was somehow different? Or what else could happen, right? What else is possible that the universe is trying to offer me? Because what I'm getting about this card is this is a week of abundance, and where the cycle of giving and receiving is going to be equal. It's going to be balanced on both sides. So in order for that to happen, if you both go in with, or if one of you goes in even, and that's locked, then that flow stops. But if one of you is open, that leaves a leeway for both to be open. So you may think that you're going to be the one in the position of, in a weak position, because if you give in, right? But if you open up, you are actually the one that's in power here. You are the one whose energy is influencing the entire process, because you are open. And when you're open to your soul, you're open to your heart, you're open to God, you're open to the source of all things. And then you have the influence, because your heart becomes the channel that allows all of creative ideas, solutions, possibilities, opportunities to flow through you. You become that conduit. So don't think of being open as a weakness, because you are the greatest influence. I mean, expansion versus constriction. Think about it. So allow yourself to be open as you go into whatever opportunities that come up for you. Put your expectations to the side for a little bit. Nobody's telling you to get rid of them. Just put them to the side and let yourself be free, like you're just blowing in the wind a little bit, if that makes any sense. And see what happens. Be curious. Be curious. Be curious as to be curious within your own heart, is what they're saying. It's not about being curious about what they're going to do, but be curious within your own heart. Be curious about what you may be open to. Don't worry about what they're not going to be open to, but what you in your own heart. Be curious within your own heart. There's no better way to say that beautifully. Okay, and so, see, here we go with the card I pulled from the bottom already. And the card is decision. So it's definitely, this is a week that involves decisions. This card is usually the devil card, and another deck, traditionally, the devil card, and another deck, Doreen calls it the ego card. So this is about a decision. And here's the thing about this. As you can see, Archangel Zadkiel, it's about letting go. Don't try to contain your spirit or all your gifts that your spirit gives you. See all the different colors? Don't try to contain them. Don't try to control the outcome. Just let it go. Let the outcome go and be free, and make the decision that your heart leaps for. Listen to that. Will be the message. That will be the sign, the powerful sign that you need to be ready to act upon, and you will feel free. So this is about talking about the foundation, the pillars of love, and freedom is one of them. And so, you know, your love and joy and abundance and all these other things, and many other pillars there, but love is the foundation. But let this week be about you being free. And so they're saying for you that they want you to have faith, they want you to be positive, meaning focus in a way where you're looking at the situation not from the challenges or the risks so much as you're looking at it from the potential opportunities and possibilities for expansion, growth. This is what they want you to see, and let that inspire you. All right, so I send you lots of love, because it seems like they're not stop talking here, but I send you lots of love and angel blessings. Thank you all for joining us here this week for this reading, and for the comments that you wrote on YouTube last week and the weeks before. I've been reading them. Also, some of you have been saying that you're having trouble hearing. So I have taken the suggestion of somebody, and I ordered a microphone, and hopefully that will solve the problem for everyone. If you haven't, so thank you for patiently, hanging in there with us till we could figure out what was going on, because every time I listen, I hear the videos perfectly fine from the device I recorded it from, and on my computer where I listen to YouTube, I wasn't having any difficulties, but I've been noticing an increase of them. So I looked up to find a microphone. So if you haven't joined us on Facebook, I'll be doing the daily card messages there Monday through Friday. Really encourage you to go there, because I get a lot out of it. It goes in more detail. And if you're looking for an angel reading, feel free to contact me at theangelschool.com, which you can find at the description link below this video. You can find the Facebook link and our Twitter link as well. You can go to the services page on my website, and my readings I do them from Monday through Friday, 12 noon to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So have a week of great abundance here, and be open. Keep your arms open, your heart open, and don't forget to be compassionate towards yourself and compassionate towards others. Don't always look at what they're doing so much, but see, can you discern their truth? Okay? Well, people say a lot of things, but pay attention to put it this way, I'll correct that. Pay attention to people's actions, but most importantly, really pay attention to their heart, and see if they're open or not, and then that tells you what you need to do. So until next week, God bless you all.